fucked it up, but whatever.
GameWorn Radio, part of GameWorn.us. Doc Noise running the show. Got Derek, got Dan Day, got Tom Vore scratching the mic, and the other one, and I can't get to my control box to give the name for the other person. So chime in yourself. Sorry.
It's Matt. I'm the NFS person.
That's right. Or NFB, not for broadcast, or any of the above. We worked out some of the technical details. Unfortunately, I missed the last show, and I'm kicking myself in the ass for that. But if you do want to call in, and I think it's awesome that we can do that. You want to call in 419-407-6978. So you don't have to Skype anything. Sorry, 419-407-6798.
That's the
I'm
one.
even looking at it because I called it earlier. So please call in if you want to have any hobby-related questions issued, want to bring up topics, some of the things that we're going to probably touch on tonight. The current state of the hobby, some of the pricing. Of course, we're winding out. A lot of teams are already eliminated from the playoffs. You're going to have gear sales coming up, as well as I'm curious what everybody thinks about what the pricing will be of the Vegas playoffs jerseys, since they're setting all kinds of NHL special things for being a first season team. So I guess kind of start with as of today, what do you guys feel the state of the hobby is at this point? We're late into the season. We've seen a lot of teams start selling first and second set jerseys. What do you think about pricing? What have you heard or seen on wear, things like that?
I'm gonna say I personally think it's getting kind of stagnant within the groups, but within the teams, I think the prices have gone up. Now I think that could be just because of the change of brand. Instead of Reebok and CCM, it's gone now to Adidas, and I just think with just the different brand, that the prices have gone up a little bit with some of the other teams that normally aren't as expensive.
And I will say, I don't know how many of you guys have laid your hands on any of the Adidas jerseys. I've laid on a couple different teams, and as much as I, going into the season, was very skeptical, I'm impressed that I think the jerseys have held together somewhat better than I expected, but they also, at least the ones I've seen, have had decent repairs. The weight definitely, to me, I think is noticeable even from the previous season jerseys. But one thing I've noticed, because I have a Dallas one I actually skated in, is through the arms, it is so much tighter compared to last season. So, and I know people are probably screaming, listening, is going, "What? He wore one to skate in?" I wanted to see what it felt like to have that thing on, and it was an issued one, by the way. So it's.
Did you have pads
just
on?
Dallas preseason. Yeah, I did not have shoulder pads. I never wear shoulder pads when I play. But even just in the elbow pads, the arms were super tight. And my elbow pads are pro ones. They're not very bulky. So I've noticed a lot of guys, if you watch, a lot of guys' arms are kind of pulled back, and I think it's to loosen them up a little bit. But overall, I mean, and I've seen pictures of a lot of the Blues ones people have gotten. They're decent. The wear is a little bit different. The way the burns are just looks different. You see a lot more surface burns, but at least in some of the Blues ones, I've seen some really good repairs. Not seeing as many, at least in the dark jerseys I've seen, and I'd have to go look at some of the white ones again. The stick marks and stuff don't seem to be as prominent as I would expect.
I don't have an Adidas,
have
so
you
I can't
guys
really
seen
comment.
many?
I've only got one, and it's early, so I haven't really got anything with any wear on or anything. So I've seen pictures, people posting, especially when people got the Vegas ones, the Vegas set ones. It looked like there's a lot of good burns on them, but it looks like the jersey's held up good, as far as how the wear is and stuff on them.
I've seen
Like I said, a lot.
I've seen photos of like some of the goalie jerseys of the white ones, and the puck marks show up very well. Specifically with the Calgary Flames, there's a Riddick, the backup goaltender, and Mike.
Oh yeah, saw that one.
Littered with marks. It looks beautiful.
And maybe some of it's team to team, but like I'm looking at multiple of the set ones that set ones and set twos that the Blues have sold. And like I said, I can see different. A lot of people are showing the repairs and stuff, but I see hardly any puck or stick marks on them. So I don't know if the way the Blues are washing them, it's taking a lot of those out, or if because I mean, even watching the games, I don't see a lot of marks on the jerseys, on the white jerseys in general. So I don't know if just with that material, that stuff's washing out so much more.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, they might be washing them out more. It's maybe harder to tell on TV. But the pictures that I've seen seem like they've got some decent marks.
Has anyone seen any repairs?
I've seen a lot of the Blues repairs. I mean, especially you see them a lot where you're going to be striking the boards the most, elbows down and forearms. I've seen some really good, I mean, just huge amounts of repairs through there. And at least in those areas, I think if they're grinding the boards or there's those kind of players, you're seeing a lot of long repairs, at least when the pictures I've seen.
Yeah,
so almost like back in the early 2000s and late 90s when that seemed to be the most popular repair of the jerseys back then, if I remember correctly. Because I had a couple during that time, and the repairs and the holes and everything all over it were down from the elbows down, and there was a lot of marks and stuff.
And I also saw that there looks like more teams are using that tape to repair it, not stitching.
Yeah.
On places they can do that. So you see a lot more tape repairs.
Or you'll see a small stitch repair on the outside of the jersey. If you flip it in, yeah, then you're right. It's got that patch material.
Yeah. So that's changed a little bit. You're not going to see, might not be as noticeable on the TV or on pictures as you would until you get it in your hands. So I don't know if that's going to make it more difficult to photo match stuff or what.
And I'm trying to look, too, and in case anybody didn't know, if you're a fan of the Dallas Stars, they're selling a lot of their stuff on they've got their own website now, hangerhockey.com. And looking, they have Ben Bishop's set one out here. It's got some really good marks, especially up high in the front around the 25th anniversary patch. Some really good puck marks there. I'm curious how many of the regular players that aren't taking pucks right into the chest, what they're showing up like.
What about into the wrist and into the knees? God, dude, everybody's getting hurt out there.
Yeah, it's the injury bugs going around the league quite a bit. But and I will say, I mean, even looking at the Stars site, a lot of theirs are sitting out here. Of course, you've got everybody's kind of iffy on Bishop now with his late injuries, but his set one's out here for $1,500. Some of theirs are running into the $500 to $600, $750 on average. But I'm curious what the Vegas ones will do. I don't know if those prices will get posted soon to migrate or what.
I would say they're going to be the same as the others, unless they go into the finals, and then of course they're going to be sky high.
Yeah, but they're I think Vegas this year is a different category this year. First year team, they're having a great year. I think a lot of people are excited that they're for the players that got a chance to prove themselves. So I think their jerseys are a different category than what other teams, and I wonder if these higher jersey prices that these teams are selling, like Bishop, has ran its course.
I was going to chime in on that. I have absolutely no desire to rush out and get anybody's jersey. I'm pretty sure that everybody saw the cash cow of, hey, New Jersey, it's the first time everybody's wearing them. We can charge a little bit more, and rightly so. Go for it. And as they say, a jersey is worth what somebody's willing to pay for it. But I'd rather just wait for now until the prices kind of come back down to earth, because in the selling world right now of trying to move some jerseys to how do you say it? Rob Peter to pay Paul, if you will, and keep the money within the hobby. If you don't have the disposable income per se to constantly keep buying things, you have to sometimes sell things to make ends meet in the hobby. But I just can't afford these prices, and I hate to say it, but I need to think more and more now that if something comes up down the line and I need to sell it, am I going to get half of what I put into it? I know you don't want to think like that, but it's something to really think about, because the collectors out there now, it's an ever evolving animal. And I guess this kind of goes into our next segment of the state of the hobby, but the collectors 5 years ago are not the same type of collectors that they are now, or maybe it's new people, but there is definitely a whole new set of people out there collecting and purchasing, and the way that they go about it and what they're looking for.
No, and you know what? And I think you're right with that. And a couple of things I think that have really changed is one is social media, because now teams can put that out so much easier. Of, hey, our GameWorn jerseys are for sale, like the blues with the E gesture. Anybody can sign up for that. You see stuff on their Facebook page, their website, all that kind of stuff. Whereas even 5 years ago, the casual fan, well, maybe they saw them in the store, it doesn't click to them that that's what it is or whatever. Now, while the team's marketing aren't great for them, some teams push them more than others, but the push to get the casual fan to at least buy one GameWorn jersey seems to have taken off more, and I do see a lot more people doing that. But you're right. I see new people getting into GameWorn jerseys all the time, and I will say, unless the jerseys that you have are some rare, high-end, or oddball kind of thing, I mean, taking this year out of the equation, because the Adidas, to a point, time will tell, I guess, values on some of those. But you take out like the last several years of just the basic jerseys, they're not worth crap compared to what you paid for them. I mean, unless you got some deals through Fanatics and things like that, and you paid low, you might be able to do okay. But the average price for most players, unless it was some rare thing, just you're not going to make money.
Everybody is playing off of the Fanatics business model, which is price everything as high as you can and try and get the collector that's willing to pay a stupid amount of money for it, or try and get the one-off purchaser that doesn't know any better, and then get your money and run. Nobody gives a shit about like the actual state of the hobby when they're selling it direct, you know?
No, and I think a lot of people wanted to go after the first sets this year because of the team still it had the 100th patch on it. Now that those have gone away, I think the second sets you're going to see really aren't going to be as popular unless they lower the price. Because like those 100s, don't get me wrong, I think those 100th patches really look good. And last year the 50th and the 100th patch, at least for the Blues, I was really happy with the look of it and seeing a new jersey with that patch. But and like Dallas this year, of course, has the 25th patch, and some other teams have patches. Those patch jerseys seem to be popular for a lot of people because it's not the standard jersey you can buy any other season. You only be able to get it that 1 year.
Yeah, but then they're doing with patches what we see in like the ECHL level, where they're just starting to pump them out, and people are making patches for fucking everything under the sun, so everything can have a patch for it, and it's kind of getting annoying. It's like the 8 different jerseys styles a year that, you know, your local ECHL team does for charity. It's like every team is going to have their own special patch every single year.
And you're not wrong, but I guess I'm in the hobby because I enjoy it. I follow certain players. I want certain things. I don't have and I've talked to several people lately that are starting to get into the hobby, or at least showing an interest in it, is I said, get a focus. Because if you don't, and you just start buying every freaking thing you can find, one, you're going to be broke, and two, when you go to resell, you're going to have a hard time because you may have picked up all these average people that nobody gives two shits about.
That's the problem with the new collectors is they don't like. You need to expect when you buy something you're not getting your money back, and they go in and they're like, at least even when I was new, I got excited because I didn't know you could get jerseys from the players. So I snatched up a bunch of stuff. And then you start realizing, like, I need to really just buy the things that really make me happy and the things that I like. Because just having, like, a random jersey of somebody that I heard the name of before doesn't really, seal the deal anymore. And then you don't have a reason to hold on to it.
You're right. Keep that focus is tough, and it's also fun, but sometimes you find yourself going, how can I make this jersey fit into my collection as well?
Try to find ways to justify it. Like, I really want this jersey. I don't like the player, but I do like the team. But yeah, I'll get, because I've done that with certain teams that I collect. I'm not a big fan of the player, but I like the team, so I'm just gonna go ahead and get it because it fits my narrative of the team I want.
My fear is if everybody becomes so specialized that nothing will happen between the other collectors. That's my fear. That you won't be able to trade with people or sell to people, buy it from people, because everybody will be so specialized in what they have. No,
Nature
sorry,
of the
I only
beast.
collect that
That's where
player.
you have to make it fun and make it reasonable when you do go to move something. If you have a specialized thing, I mean, look at so many people out there go, hey, I'm looking, and I'm not picking on this person, but I have a Kevin Dineen Hartford Whalers jersey, and everybody wants it. It's a 91-92. It's green. It's got the great 75th patch on it, but I'm only willing to trade it for a Mark Johnson Whalers jersey. That's like a needle in a haystack. You're not going to find that. And I'm not picking on this guy because I really like him and we're friends, but you could change that around saying, hey, I'll move this jersey to you. All you have to do is find one. So put it out there for them or give them a list. Like I did a deal with a certain somebody that might be on this page where he wanted a certain, or a page, what am I talking about, on this call with us, and he wanted a certain jersey, and I gave him a huge area of jerseys that he could go and pick from, and I said, I'm willing to wait. It's not going anywhere else. It's going to you if you want to do the deal. And we ended up working out a deal. And that's how you make it happen. Give that person a chance.
I was talking specialty where people only collect one thing. I only collect this particular focus. And my fear is everybody becomes so focused you won't be able to trade with people. That's just will it happen? I don't know. That's just I agree that sometimes when you go buy everything under the sun, that's not a good thing either, because then you just got too much stuff, but if you become so focused, then nobody can trade with you because I don't have what you collect, a certain player or whatever, or certain team or whatever it could be, and then you just kind of get like, then how's that fun for the hobby,
Such is the state of the hobby.
Yeah, I mean, that's just, I think that I would like, it would be nice for me if you want a certain player or certain team, that's great. But it would also be nice if you had a small section in your collection that said, these are my jerseys that I'm going to a game, I need that team, or I want that player, and after the game I'm going to trade it, and that jersey just cycles through the hobby as people need it or whatnot, where trades are happening and people are making connections.
Yeah, but now you're just talking filler. Like,
but if not, we all just sit around looking at the pages going, okay, yep, nobody's moving nothing.
It's never going to be 100%, and it's like the gun control. It's not going to be one simple answer. There's not one answer that's going to fix it, and that's the bad thing, because there are people out there that have great jerseys, and they're like, listen, here's my trader list, but I'm only looking for this, 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 and this, and you're like, man, I could take 4 of those off their hand, but they're only looking for Joey Bag of Donuts on all the teams he played for.
Fuck,
and
he was a good player.
They have, yeah, he was 50 goal scorer that year. Remember, Derek? Anyway, all the Joey Bag of Donuts are already in their collection except for maybe like 5. So, yeah, you're trapped between a needle and a haystack. And what do? Do you harbor that animosity and just say, screw it, I'm not dealing with this person? There's obviously not going to happen. I'd have to hit the lottery to find this jersey. Or do you just kind of hang on and hope maybe someday you'll find one for them? But it is frustrating, and I'm sure people look at my stuff too and say, man, I'd really like to get that jersey. I wish I had Billy Bag of Donuts, his brother. But that's just the way it is. I wish there was an answer.
It's just the way it is. You gotta just kind of roll with it and accept it. You're not gonna change it.
No.
Just how it is.
And I think the hobby goes through so many different cycles of what's popular, what people want. I think when my grade came in what was that, 0203 or 0304, whatever the hell year that was, when they had almost all the teams, a lot of people jumped in at that point because it was super easy to get a lot of players. Yeah, some were expensive, but it was a one-stop shop. You know where you could go, you could get it, all this stuff. And now that it's been piecemealed out, or the team does it, then sometimes you got to have insides of the team, or be the first one to email in. And it's just the difficulties with some teams has become a problem for some people. Some teams get it and make it easier. Some teams don't yet, or they think they know how it works and their pricing is just stupid. It's one of those things that's never, ever going to be perfect. And I guess it has to be a combination of us as collectors being able to adapt, or say, you know what, this new stuff is a pain in the ass. I'm going to stick in more vintage, where, you can put it out on a message board or in social media, whatever, saying, hey, I'm looking for these years or these kind of players or whatever it is. It's a lot of what do you want to do? Like I said, a lot of the teams are trying to get the casual fan to buy a jersey, and if they can, great, but they're probably going to only buy one, maybe two ever. Us as collectors are going to go through cycles of sometimes, and I know some people that are buying every time there's an auction, buying one or two because they want the current players and they're happy with those, whatever. But it's just one of those weird cycles. And again, at the end of the day, I'm in it for it being enjoyable. I don't get bent out of shape I don't worry about getting backstabbed, because I'm not making the kind of deals where that's to come into play. I work, like Dan and I work on stuff together, and I talk to Derek and all these other people. If there's stuff, like I said before, I can't buy it all. It's nice to share stuff, and I enjoy all the connections I've made. I mean, that's the stuff, be able to reach out, even when it's different people's collectors' birthdays and stuff, and just shoot them a message and say, hey, happy birthday. Guys that I would have never known before until I got into this hobby, and seen how some have kind of gone on. I don't want to say retired, but aren't nearly as active, but still around, and you see their name pop up. Those are the kind of things, and it brings back the memories of how I got started. And even when I went several weeks ago to our junior team's alumni game, I had a huge display of alumni players' jerseys from the team, and then ones that had gone on to higher levels. I happened to have a bunch of theirs to show off, but it was neat showing that I'd stayed involved in following the players around, and it was neat to show some of the guys that were there the jerseys that I picked up from other teams, and some didn't even know were floating around. But that's the stuff I enjoy, is sharing the stories about either how I got it or talking to the player that wore it, stuff like that. That's what makes it enjoyable to me, and everybody's different.
I think a lot of people feel the same. The trick is that enjoyment comes a lot of times when you're getting to talk to people who aren't quite as well versed in the hobby. When you completely immerse yourself in this hobby for durations of time or lengthy durations of time, it's harder to get that satisfaction and enjoyment out of that because you start to see some of the bullshit. People pretty much being assholes unnecessarily or going out of their way to do it. And I'm sure people will say that I am. I like to say that I don't do anything unprovoked. But I mean, it's a natural thing of people, and you get that just in social media alone. It's like right at the beginning of this fucking broadcast, right? I fucked up the audio, and somebody has to comment, "Oh, it's off to a great start." Well, yeah, I'm not a professional. I do this to kind of like invigorate the hobby, get people talking about stuff.
Well,
Spread enjoyment.
and that's
And it's like you're gonna ride my ass because of something stupid like this. And of course, it's somebody that I have blocked on Facebook, by the way, because I just got so tired of the bullshit. But it's like, dude, we really have to get to that point where we have to block people now within the hobby because people are getting to be this vile, and like you can't just let people coexist. You don't have to like everybody, but do you have to go out of your way to be such a dick?
The
Well,
social
everybody's
media thing is killing the hobby, in
I
my
agree.
opinion.
Let's
I
kill it.
go on there and I post about, we all know, I'm not going to bring it up. I will say, however, that Doc nailed it on the head. I enjoy when somebody brings a jersey to a show and there's a story behind it. I'm not asking somebody to buy a table or rent a U-Haul or pack a caravan with camels. Just show up with even one jersey and just say, "Hey, I brought this jersey," and tell me about it. What does it mean to you? That's the fun of the hobby. Not posting 3,000 jerseys, one a day for the next 10 years, saying, here's Stefan Matteau's jersey. And everyone gives a thumbs up.
Let me tell you why your jersey is garbage, because I have this other one of this player that I like that you don't care about, but your jersey is garbage because of that.
True that.
See, recently I've been helping other people trying to get other jerseys where I have, an access to, like, I somehow receive an influx of people wanting, Cleveland Monster jerseys or like Erie Monster. And I've actually had more fun trying to find the jersey for someone else than I have for myself. There's been a couple of collectors that, that are somewhat long-time collectors have actually reached out to me, and we've developed a good talking relationship over Messenger. Just we'll either BS or it's like, "Oh, did you find the jersey?" "Yeah, I did, but it went for this price." It's like, "Oh, I never would have paid that price. Thanks for letting me know." Just talking like that. And it's just that to me lately has been more what I've been doing because I haven't really bought anything lately. But just for me helping other people out, I've kind of found that to be a lot more fun than, me actually. I like kind of being that, I guess, hunter for them, the jersey hunter for them. So,
well, that's a way of staying involved. If you're not buying something or trading something because you're just, you're not doing it right now or something's not selling for you, you stay involved by helping other people, and that's part of the hobby, or just let someone, air frustration or talk about something they did, all part of the hobby.
Well, some of the new guys don't even know like some of the simple stuff, like people hanging the racks on stuff or what looks good in a display, what type of hanger should I use, stuff like that. I've been trying to like find people with these simple questions that you can answer and just be like, "Hey, this is the type of stuff that I use." Like I feel like I'm more into wanting to help newer people at this point than getting engaged in some of the other shit that just leads to these dumbass arguments over dumb, stupid shit.
Yeah, I mean, just like Matt was saying, get the conversations going, and then you make the thing. And then if you can make it to a show, or you can meet up at a hockey game or something like that, you've got something to just conversate about to start off a conversation.
No, absolutely.
And I think that's.
Tell him that's an awesome story about you helping other people. I like hearing that. That's great.
Well,
Yeah.
and that's. Sorry,
By
Tom,
the
go
way,
ahead.
fuck Casey Samuelson. I was gonna try and not say his name, but fuck him.
on a lighter, It's just something I don't know. I guess it's just been like that's kind of like how I've been my whole life. I like helping other people. I just think it's fun. I like seeing other people enjoy stuff. I don't know. I think it's kind of cool. It's like, hey, I helped him get some happiness in their life, and it's like, hey, he'll remember. He's like, hey, there's that really tall fat fucker. He got me a jersey I always wanted.
Did you say tall fat fucker?
Yeah, I did.
Yes, whatever works. And I guess part of it too, and maybe it's me, is I again, just like Tom was talking, is I have some newer blues collectors come and ask me and say, hey, this is selling at this price, what do you think? Or I'm looking at this jersey, what do you think? And I had somebody email me or message me the other day asking about a particular jersey, and it was one of my friends selling it, but I wasn't going to be that guy trying to sell it for him and bullshit this other guy. And I said, look, the jersey is, because he's in the pros now, but it was his minor league jersey. There weren't many of them worn. He's like, well, his jersey usually only sells for about that much. But I'm like, yeah, he wore this many sets while with the Blues. When he was with the Rivermen, there were only a few because they only wore 2 sets a season. So the it being more rare, and he's a popular player, I said, here's the price I'd be comfortable in. And I explained it all out. I wasn't trying to be unfair because I knew the guy's selling it, but I was trying to educate him and say, here's how you need to look at this. Like if it's an NHL jersey, I rattled it off, and he said it made a lot of sense. And I don't remember if he actually made the deal or not, but I'd rather educate people and not them come back later and find out I was basically trying to help my buddy sell this jersey. I was being fair. I mean, I'm not getting anything out of it if he sells it or not. It's more of, let me educate you and give you my reasons and take them for what it's worth. I mean, it's free advice and you get what you pay for.
That's good advice. If you guys have never met, here's a plug for a young man that started collecting, I think, in the last couple of years, Harrison Lee. He's been at the Nova Expo for the last, I think 2 years, maybe 3. And he is the epitome of I don't want to say kid, but he's kid to me because he's so much younger than me. But he is the epitome of somebody that's wide-eyed and wants to learn and is so excited and passionate about the hobby. He is the future of the hobby and what anyone would want to have for a friend, a collector, or someone to trade with. He's honest, he's down to earth, and he gets so excited about whatever you want to talk about because he knows how it relates to you and that you'll listen to him. So Harrison, when you hear this, you are doing a good thing.
I've dealt with Harrison before.
I've talked to him. I like the kid.
Yeah.
And and again, it's you get some of the people that are new coming to the hobby that truly want to learn, that want to ask the questions, want to make sure that because again, some of these aren't cheap, and depending on who you're going after, you are paying a premium. They want to truly learn. They don't come in to the hobby acting like they're a bunch of arrogant pricks. They really want to know the right ways to do things. And the more that we, as ones that have been around a little while, that can put that out and say, hey, look, here's some of the do's and don'ts, or at least things to think about. Here's problems that we've seen in the past. Here's some sellers to avoid, or things you can do. The more advice, the more education that we can put out there will really help the hobby continue to progress, and it not be a bunch of one-off fans buying off a rack at a game. And I think it's great too when you see people post everything from price lists to teams that are selling them just in the store, or I know some people, I've seen a lot of stuff posted recently with some of the stuff being sold at the Red Wings games and saying kind of what the pricing was. And I mean, when people post pictures asking about, hey, I've got this jersey, the tagging's got this, what do you guys think? Bringing that historical knowledge in too really helps, because you find out that weird shit is done. I mean, Tom and I have talked about it before with some of the Blues jerseys, where the first sets of one of the Blues jerseys, every other set before that and after that had numbers. That first set that they put out that season had no numbers. The certificate was blank in that spot. And some people are saying, well, that was a bad jersey because the numbers weren't there. No, for some reason that set wasn't done, but several of us got together, were able to research that between what we owned and proved it. It wasn't just a one-off jersey they screwed up. So it's having those kind of things, and it's having people go the extra effort to. I mean, I have people ask me all the time questions about jerseys, and sometimes I have to go out to the man cave and pull one and go, oh yeah, it looked like this, or here's the set stamp that year, or whatever was done. But it's guys willing to do that and just say, oh, I don't have time for this bullshit, and ignore the message or move on, because then that's going to discourage people from either one, dealing with you, or dealing in the hobby in general and say we're a bunch of worthless fucks.
Yeah, sounds good. Sorry,
that was a hell of a rant there, but just trying to, I wish I knew, as I got into it, knew some of the things, and I look back of how I got started buying my junior team's jerseys and realizing how much I spent at the time and how much I could have bought in NHL jerseys at that point. But I learned.
We've all overspent. That's a given right there. If you haven't overpaid for a jersey, then you haven't been in the hobby.
Oh yeah,
I just did.
I hear that Nirvana "Rape Me" song daily.
I mean,
gosh.
that's just a given, you know.
So we're getting late into the season. Have a lot of teams that are already pretty much, the players are ready to golf as soon as the last puck for their last regular season game is dropped. Have many people heard of any gear sales already? I know the Kings actually have one coming up here
this Saturday. I think it's Saturday.
Is it this Saturday? Okay, I knew it was coming up, but I couldn't remember the date.
Their stuff is high, man. The Kings.
Look at their jerseys, dude. Have you been on their jersey site lately?
Not in the past week, but
I need to
if you want to
think of a fourth liner.
If you got time, like 5 minutes just to go perusing, find it just so you can laugh a little bit. It's very enjoyable.
And I talked to a couple guys on one.
It's LA prices. That's all you really need to say.
Same thing with the Ontario Reign. They do theirs is crazy too, you know.
Though I know Calgary, as soon as they're officially eliminated from the playoffs since they've choked, theirs is usually around U.S. Memorial Day weekend. Is usually when they have theirs.
Yeah, but they're not in the class of high prices. Calgary has some of the better prices.
Oh God, yes.
They have real prices is what they have.
Yeah, and
they
then
have better prices for those in the U.S., but in Canada, I think the prices they do is completely fair.
Yeah, I think of the 5-6 Canadian teams. They're probably got the best prices. Probably then followed by maybe Ottawa.
Yeah.
Have you guys bought from Calgary? And are they when you call them up, are they knowledgeable? As in, can I call them up and say, listen, I'm looking for Joey Bag of Donuts. Sorry. Does it have
he's popular on every team.
Yes.
Yeah, well, he was traded there late in the season. Everybody forgets that.
Paula is she's very knowledgeable. She's very knowledgeable. Paula is of the jerseys they have.
Paula Dean?
Paula Dean. She's
a bag of donuts.
And a bag of donuts. And there's enough collectors up there that go to that thing that if you need help when they go to their equipment sale, you can get help from people.
And see, they do it two ways, too, is they do the initial sale where it's whatever weekend it is, that Saturday or Sunday. They do the sale. They have all that crap that sells there, the jerseys, the equipment, all that. And then everything that's left over, they inventory and on the Flame site, put it out as an Excel spreadsheet So then that following, I think it's usually about midweek by the time they get it inventoried and updated. Then they post that online so people like us down here can email in or call in and order stuff. I've ordered skates and stuff for people from up there because unless they've changed it, if you spend $200 Canadian,
It's free
free ship it down here. And then still it's okay. A $200 pair of skates is $175 plus free shipping. I mean, you get some hellacious deals on if you need gear or stuff, and they're good with descriptions of like use.
They have a rating system for their
Yes.
gloves and everything. They'll say like I don't. It's 1, 2, or 3. 1 is like pro stock, never been used. It was issued. 2 is like it's still usable, but there's still somewhere. 3 is like it's completely destroyed, and that's how they will price it. If it's really like unusable, not very good, they will make it cheaper for like gloves and skates than they will for like a jersey. The only thing they don't ship is skates or sticks. I'm sorry.
Yeah, sticks are hard for people to ship. The Canes will have their equipment sale, and theirs is pretty good priced.
And that's not highly attended either, is it? If I remember correctly.
No, I went once, and man, it was not a madhouse, to go there.
No, was it Bobby Eagle came up one of the times and just cleaned house up there too?
No, Bobby. I met Bobby down there. Bobby was up there seeing family, and I drove down there for the day, and it was people are going in and coming out with just handfuls of stuff what they were selling, and then I got to go in because I wasn't a season ticket holder, and they still had plenty of stuff. They still had lots of stuff to choose from. What you wanted to, whatever you wanted to get, So.
And I bet that'll be that way this year too, because I know their attendance has been in the toilet.
Yeah, for me, man, it's an easy drive to go to that game. I'd rather drive to Carolina than I would to DC, man. So.
Derek, what about how have you heard much with what the Wings are going to do this year?
From what I understand, it's going to be similar to other years. Just from stuff that I've seen in the shop from games I went to this year, prices are higher than they've ever been. So we'll see how it goes.
Gotta pay for that arena somehow.
Dude, $275 for a pair of Luke Glendening gloves that look like they've barely been used.
He just looked at them. He didn't actually wear them.
Something like that, dude. It's just
They
they had a preseason autographed jersey in there. I think it was maybe Zetterberg. I can't remember, but it was $5,000.
Jesus.
Even Bag of Donuts doesn't go for that big.
But then they have a bunch of other preseason jerseys of like Athanasiou and Larkin for $650, and then this other jersey in this other section is $5,000. It just blows my mind. But we'll see. They got a new person running their stuff, and she didn't want to change anything for this year. So we'll see how things go in the future. It's just, man, I hope the prices come down. Otherwise, I'm washing my hands and calling it a day, boys. Cause
well, and I think a lot of people will though. At that though, Derek. I mean, when the quality on the ice suffers, a lot of collectors tell me if I'm wrong here, but a lot of collectors go, it's not worth the high price you guys are putting on them anymore.
Yeah, but does that,
I mean, the team's hard enough to watch as it is.
Well, that's the hard part when the team, winning. They say winning cures everything. When a team wins, ticket prices go up. I guess jersey sales go up.
Or when you get a new arena and your team gets shitty, the ticket prices go up.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just keep on hearing everybody saying how they're not renewing their season tickets. Personally, I don't necessarily enjoy going to the games because the seats are fucking cramped. Like, I can't sit comfortably because they have cup holders in between the chairs where my legs would normally go because I'm not exactly a small guy. And if I put them straight forward, there's no space for my butt and my knees.
Yeah.
Unless you're in the lower bowl. And I can't afford lower bowl.
Yeah,
most people can't.
No. They, the arena, the Little Caesars is a great arena, but yeah, the upper deck is tough seating. It is. I mean, if you got long legs, you are cramped in there.
Fuck. Well, I'm screwed.
And but the atmosphere around there, the history and stuff like that can't. That's a but yeah, the upper deck, man.
I mean, the
It's
arena
or the
itself
upper
is pretty
level.
cool.
Yeah.
Well, if you guys
So-
are looking for anything college related, I know I will be able to get some stuff at the beginning to mid portion of October, which totally doesn't fit in with usual equipment sales, but you can probably get some Hockey East, Big Ten school stuff. I'll get it for you at my cost, from jackets to sticks to track pants to even there was Northeastern toiletry bags that are really cool. So if you guys are interested, you guys just anyone, and not just included on this call, but down the road, let me know.
Man, I just need visor clips. That's all I need.
I will say, it sounds weird. Those toiletry bags are super handy. Everything from throwing tape in some to even when I travel, that's what I carry. It's just easier to throw all that in there. Plus, it looks cool.
Yeah.
I like some of that weird crap that's not everybody goes for, but it's nice to carry around. I like the team bag or the coach's bags to carry shit in when I travel too.
Yeah. I mean, some of those stuff can be pretty easily pretty good price too. When you go to these sales and stuff.
I think last year at the Blues they were selling their toiletry bags for like $15 or $20, and they had the numbers stitched on them too, so you knew whose they were. And
These are Warrior numbered, no numbers, but vinyl with a little
Nice.
like place to put your little like card, if you will, with your name and number on it, like your airplane little clear plastic slot. You know what I'm talking about? For
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
And I know the Blues should have quite a bit whenever they do their sale, because they're also going to be renovating the upper part of Scott Trade Center. So a lot of the signage, I think even stuff out of the skyboxes may end up in their pictures and different things. I know they did a lot this past year when they were starting the renovations for the bottom, because I mean they sold goals, tables, barware. They
How
sold
much were
everything.
the
A lot of it was
the
super
goals?
cheap. For $100.
Shut up, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
The practice
If I'd have had a
nets,
bigger
Steal.
car,
dude. The practice nets at Joe Louis Arena sale started at $5,000.
damn.
Jeez.
That's just nuts.
And they weren't even freshly painted.
It was crazy.
$5,000. Holy cow.
And I will say, talking about another interesting way that, and I forgot to look, it's been a while, is the Capitals go until June the 1st. If you go on, you can go to their site and find it up in their top bar of things. But they use hand bid. They have a ton of equipment out on hand bid too.
Yeah, they've been doing it all year long.
Yeah, and they keep updating. Like right now, there's a brand new Ovechkin stick out there for sale for $90.
So does Migraine not handle their gear then? I always thought if
Nope,
they did the
I don't
jerseys, they
believe
did
so.
the gear too.
I don't think so. I think when the Migrate Expo is, and it's usually the same weekend as the Caps equipment sale. I don't know why it usually happens like that, but I know that most of the Cap guys I usually see are at that.
But like right now, they have 2 Ovechkin training camp jerseys, one red, one white, $800 a piece. Which, if you can't afford an Ovechkin jersey, at least you can get a semi-reasonable price practice jersey.
Yeah.
I picked up one. Mine didn't have any wear on it, but it's good material.
Well, and all their training camp jerseys for like no-name guys are $50.
Yeah.
You need just jerseys to wear around, skate around in whatever. I mean, you can't buy jerseys that cheap otherwise.
No.
Who cares who's on the back of it?
Right.
I mean, you can change it later if you want. Shoot.
Yeah, they're just. I think it's on a nameplate, but then it's heat pressed numbers and letters.
You can make it Dmitry Kristich.
Or Joey Bag
or
of Donuts.
Bag of Donuts.
Hey, you didn't play there for very long.
Oh, you didn't see the news? It was a weird late season trade. It happened tonight.
Oh shit! I gotta call my Gray. Pre-order that fucker.
They have Holt B jerseys out here that are 700.
The bag of
gloves.
donuts will be $19.95.
Yeah, with a decimal point in between.
Does anybody know when the Migrate show is going to be this summer?
Barry told us at the Nova Expo. I think it's the second or third weekend in July. I'm sorry, I don't know which one it is.
That's usually when it is anyway, isn't it?
You're not supposed to ruin my surprise. Thanks, Tom.
He's always fucking shit up.
I'm unfriending you now.
Block him too, unfriend him, talk shit about him after you block him. Do all that fun shit. Post about him constantly.
Wouldn't be the first person to block me. Won't be the last.
Kidding you, Tom.
Making friends and influencing people.
See, this is the part of the hobby I like, is like we can rib jab at each other and nobody takes offense to it, and like even if you say something stupid, we'll come down on you, but you're fine with it. And then other people just take themselves way too seriously.
I don't even
But
know how to look up
this is the type of stuff that I like. I like to spitball off of other people, and I think that's what makes, parts of the hobby really fun.
Oh, it most definitely is. If you can joke and laugh and take time to make stupid jokes that you had to be there for. Like, I'm sure there's things that happened at the Chicago Expo that you guys put together. There's stuff that happens at the Migrate Expo, the Nova Expo. I mean, there's so many things.
Well, I almost had Tom choke slam me through a table, and then I put Jason on the spot to do some MCing.
Yeah, that was little. Especially it looked bad because several people I had never met before. So you're pulling these names, or I'm pulling the names and read them. I'm like, who the hell are these people?
Oh, hacking the names up. That's why I didn't want to talk.
Well,
man.
like Larry Love, I'd never met him before.
Yeah.
Larry Gigenti.
Well, next show, everybody just use Joey Bag of Donuts. Next show.
I think
sorry.
Just made for it and buy it for Matt. Just make it for Matt. Joey Bag of Donuts.
I would take great pride in wearing that, or seeing it, and or purchasing that.
We can get you one of these $50 Caps jerseys and just change the name.
Don't you dare mark it up, you motherfuckers.
All right, for your next drop-in team, the next drop-in team, you're gonna have Bag of Donuts as the team logo.
Just have geeky jerseys. Get it from them.
Or Bag of D's nuts. Either one.
You know what? Tell me that wouldn't be kind of a cool thing to do for an expo. Make up jerseys for the expo.
Nobody's going to want to pay the money for it, though, dude.
I know. Nobody would want to pay
This is why we can't have nice things.
Well,
Hey,
you know what?
Hey,
You'd be surprised because a couple places I've talked to, it's about $50 a jersey, sublimated for $50.
I had a jersey made for my wrestling character that I wore to the ring. I'm not kidding you. It was I did a Soviet Russian wrestling gimmick, and I had a jersey with my wrestler's last name in Russian in the back.
Bag of Donutskisk.
Just put a vodka brand on the back.
So I'm willing to pay money for any kind of stupidness. Or my wife is. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's a good balance there. Any other major, hobby news, things that we've missed? Any predictions with the wrap up to the season? I'm keeping a close eye, of course, on the Blues because they're fighting to be in right now. They're tied with the Sharks 2-2 at the end of the second.
Are you guys watching the Frozen Four at all? I mean, it's going to be happening here soon.
I always pay attention.
I have a rooting team, so for once I have a team I'm rooting for in there. So yeah.
Yeah, Michigan's in there, so I'll probably tune into it some.
Yeah, they beat my boys.
The Ohio State's in there, so yeah.
I was at the game when the last game they played.
Oh, good.
Man, I'm just waiting for Bobby Eagle to come back on the show so I can pick his brain about the All-Star game.
He just needs Beagle needs to travel a little bit more.
That eagle flies a lot, though.
Jesus,
I think he just got back into the country.
I heard he was in Bangladesh.
It's probably the next stop.
after he got through Paris and all that stuff. I expect to see more hockey pictures over there, him finding a rink or some weird stuff, but of course he did not.
No, he's next to some freaking tower in France I never heard of. Eiffel or something like that.
It's the Bag of Donuts Tower.
How much of a tower is it?
It's an oil well.
Oh,
And Bobby stepped off the plane and everybody in the country surrendered.
damn.
Give me your Carolina Hurricanes jerseys.
We just took a turn for the worst.
But that's the best part.
You know what? Anytime I do this show, I always have a glass of Coke and a nice bourbon mixed in there, so that always helps make the show flow so much better.
I don't need liquor.
I am on pain meds, so there's that.
Any other major things that you guys have seen the last few minutes here of the show?
I just had to ban a couple people from the page because of all the nasty comments and bullshit. So that's fun.
Sorry.
You know, the nice positive side of the hobby, right?
When I went to the Midwest regional game, which for the Frozen 4 build-up, which is for the price of one ticket, you get to see 4 teams play or 2 games. So Ohio State took on Princeton first, and then it was Penn State versus Denver. And I wrote an article. Maybe Derek will like it and publish it or whatnot. But
I gotta get on
I have
that.
never met so many nice people coming together to watch their team, their kid, their family member, their friend play, and the ribbing, the joking, the fun. I mean, some random girl just ran up and hugged me because I was wearing a BU jersey. And she goes, "Yeah, go Terriers!" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm glad my wife isn't here." But I mean, it was so much fun, and I brought my dad, and I cannot express to you guys how great it is to go. You know, I know family can be a pain in the ass at times, but you don't know how long you have with anybody in life. So if you can go spend some quality time, and it doesn't have to be family, it could be a friend, it could be whoever, but go do something fun with that person and make the memories, because that is kind of what the hobby is, making memories. Because that's why we collect. You don't collect because of any other reason than you have a memory of that specific jersey, team, or player.
You're right, and I think a lot of even the woman that I think I don't know if Tom brought on the show or we were talking about beforehand. There's a woman in one of the St. Louis Blues groups that got married on the night of a game, and it was when they wore the old school third jersey, and I'm trying to find one worn from that night because after their wedding, her and the wedding party came to the game. So it's things like that. It's not always about. And I've seen some other people looking for jerseys with particular dates for their children being born, things like that. And I find it really cool when people do that because it's kind of going outside the box with a reason to get a game jersey.
Yeah. Makes a story.
Yes. I think on that note, we are just about out of time. So another fun-filled episode. Hopefully I did as well hosting it as Derek does. I know he was chiming in, but he also likes a break.
He's up on pain meds now, so he doesn't know.
Doc, you did a great job.
Good job, Doc.
Doc, you did better than Derek. You did better than Derek.
And people expect me to do well. For anybody that doesn't know, I'm in radio part-time and host a talk show and all that crap. But talking news and politics and stuff sometimes a little bit different than how I talk about game jerseys. And I can't cuss when I'm doing my show.
Doesn't it feel better to be able to cuss while you're doing something like this?
Yeah.
Yes, it's nice to unleash that, not to worry about a dump button.
Twitter.
For sure. Well, I got one queued up. I think that when you hit it, it'll be something you'll appreciate after some of our discussion earlier today. So here goes.
Ah.